Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I'm Brad Logan here with Rebs247.com, Inside the Rebels, an affiliate of 247 Sports. Also excited about the Believe in Ole Miss podcast, part of the Believe Network. So, what happened in this scrimmage that Lane Kiffin was so excited about? I think more than anything, everybody's excited about seeing who was going to be the number one quarterback coming out of this scrimmage. Now, I might add, there are going to be 3 other Saturday scrimmages. While they probably won't be open to the public or the media, there are 3 more scrimmages to go. So everything we say today, obviously that can change down the road. So how did the quarterbacks come about? Well, it obviously was Jackson Dart's day. The transfer out of USC had a spectacular day. If you'd like to know what those numbers are, just log on to Rebs247.com, an affiliate of 247 Sports. David Johnson did a great job along with Jared Redding. Tyler Comas was there as well to break down everything that happened inside the scrimmage, all the numbers, the tackles, and who caught the ball, who ran the ball. All that breakdown is there. And today there's a special rate just for you. You can pay for $1 for 1 month. Or you can, of course, get 50% off today by joining Inside the Rebels, an affiliate of 247 Sports at Rebs247.com. So at the end of the day, we want to get you a 10,000 feet view of what we saw. And it was definitely Jackson Dart's day. Now, not to take anything away from Luke Altmyer and what he's been able to do, I do think now it's pretty safe to say that I feel like Jackson Dart has a little bit of a leg up on Luke Altmyer if the game were to start tomorrow. Obviously, as we stand, it's not going to start tomorrow. A lot of water's got to pass under the bridge before we get there. But a big day for both quarterbacks. And also, you'll hear Coach Lane Kiffin in the postgame press conference talk about Kincaid Dent and how well Dent played. Now, obviously, Kincaid Dent was against the threes, and they also say there's a competition inside that quarterback room in which they give away a quote-unquote game ball or quarterback of the day, and that Kincaid Dent's going to get that ball. I guess they would know more than I would, but it did appear after going against the number 1 defense. And a lot of those number 1 defense players were out for numerous reasons, some by way of injury, some that Coach Lane Kiffin, as you'll hear David Johnson talk about many times, it's kind of a NFL preseason type practice to where you roll people in and out. We didn't see a lot of Nick Broeker in the scrimmage, and there were some other players, Otis Reese, A.J. Finley on defense. So some players were definitely getting rested across that defense and offense. Now, quickly, let's talk about wide receiver for a moment. I know J.J. Henry flashed a little bit. We were able to see what he was able to do. Again, saw a lot of people transfer in and out across that offensive front. Jeremy James played some right tackle. Mason Brooks came out. Not sure how big of an injury, he came out in his own power, but he was injured just a little bit, so something to monitor going forward. Although Lane Kiffin and the staff, they don't discuss injuries, although they kind of do sometimes. So they say they don't, they do, and that sort of thing. So, but a lot of you were there. You saw that, and you saw that Dart played well. Quinshon Judkins, another good practice. And again, we're X amount of practices in, and his name still gets brought up at running back. Didn't see a ton of Zach Evans, and obviously we're looking to see what we can get out of Kentrell Bullock. Is that a name that's going to pop a little bit more? We saw a lot of Isaiah Woolyard, of course, running 5th team right now. If you were to put together somewhat of a depth chart, so it's a running back room that's loaded, frankly. And that's really something considering how much Ole Miss lost across the running back room. With Henry Parrish gone, and obviously Jerrion Ely, and then one of the best runners in Matt Corrals now in a Carolina Panther uniform, really playing hard in the preseason for Corral and a chance to be the starting quarterback. Don't think he's going to do it this year, but he's definitely making an impression. So what does Ole Miss do on that defensive front? Well, they stocked the cupboard with transfer portal talent. We've said all along that defense coordinator Chris Partridge does a great job. Randall Joyner on that defense, and they've really took a lot of strides during the offseason, maybe looking at a rotation of 10 or 11 players. So definitely something to monitor going forward. The depth there in a defensive back. Questions obviously at linebacker, and you're hoping of someone like a Troy Brown, a Shante Sistrunk, someone's going to take that extra step. Austin Keys looks good coming back from injury. So linebacker, look pretty good. Still early in fall camp. Still can't tell a whole lot. You're never going to see that, that very physical practice, but we did see it to be a little more physical than before. There are a couple of names that David Johnson, I'm not going to give it away here, but David Johnson shouts out a couple of names in the game story at reps247.com. Encourage you to go there and read about some of those players that David has kind of put a spotlight on, the younger players that we may see earlier than we think. Now, we know about Quinshon Judkins, a running back, but there's an offensive line, a couple of offensive linemen you need to go check out. Maybe a defensive player or two. Definitely somebody's on defense and offense that you're going to see early. There's always a couple of players, maybe a few more this year. I think it's pretty interesting to see who David talks about that played well during the scrimmage. And the good news for all these younger players and the transfer players, it's a great opportunity to shine early on in these scrimmages when it's obvious that some of these players, and once again, not because of injury, just because Lane Kiffin wants to do his best to keep everybody fresh, you'll see a lot of faces in these scrimmages. So the question is how many more of these scrimmages will be open? We don't know. But we do know that this has been a more open preseason camp schedule than has been in the past, without question. Much more availability. He even made the comment that he's sure, in true Lane fashion, and you'll hear this entire press conference on the Believe in Ole Miss podcast, part of the Believe Network, all across your podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and iHeartRadio, all those spots, Stitcher. So you can catch this coming up sometime tonight. It will be loaded tonight, and then you'll be able to hear it all day tomorrow as well. But Lane talked about how, he half jokingly, half, serious, said that this is a scrimmage is probably a lot of teams are going to, take a look at. Maybe so, but obviously they're not going to show anything schematically that they're going to use against Troy, this in the preseason that the general public can see. So that will happen in the latter part of camp when they start dwindling it down from players, getting that starting rotation on both defense and offense, and getting things ready to go. At the end of the day, it was a very productive scrimmage. You saw the kicker Cruz. I think 7 of 9 is what they scouted him in up top. So pretty good numbers. And then Lane Kiffin, you'll hear him on his post-game press conference talk about the punter and how it came about and how they acquired a punter. It has to do with a frat party, and just wait till the podcast drops here later on today, and you'll be able to listen to it for itself. So grateful for you being part of the Believe in Ole Miss podcast, and also our advertisers. We're grateful for you as well, and look forward to those continuing to grow. And of course, our relationship with 247 Sports, Inside the Rebels, an affiliate there at 247 Sports and reps247.com. And what is to come this year, because there's going to be a lot, specifically pregame and postgame, and we're excited about some things. We're going to let you guys know about our postgame interaction, so to speak. There'll be more to come from that, but we've been able to partner with some folks, and we're excited about what's going to happen there. Also, our pregame coverage going to continue with our relationship with WJTV Sports, along with Blake Levine, and we're excited about what's to come, and that will be released very, very soon about WJTV Sports and its partnership with the Believe in Ole Miss podcast, and of course us here at the Logan Media Network. Stay tuned to reps247.com for all your up-to-date information. A little bit of a 10,000 feet view today, but wanted to make you aware of everything that's going on the website. Complete, comprehensive coverage, wall-to-wall of the preseason scrimmages by David Johnson and the entire team. And then everything's to come as the Rebels get ready to face the Troy Trojans. 3 o'clock kickoff in the SEC Network. The opening game of the season, just in a couple of weeks, and it's right around the corner. Thanks, everybody, for subscribing to our podcast, the Believe in Ole Miss podcast, part of the Believe Network. Be sure and follow all of us on Twitter. It's at BradLoganCote, and that's Believe in Ole Miss on Twitter. And that's, of course, on the Believe Network at Believe Network. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon. It's Ole Miss and Troy coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll have all that wall-to-wall coverage, preseason camp, leading you up to kickoff right here on the Logan Media Network.